people so that people do not have to break fences to get in to get grass. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Murkomen, I've given you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when Senator John Nderitu Kina came with a statement a week ago about the situation in Laikipia, my understanding is that he came on behalf of all the people who live in Laikipia, the rich, the poor, the farmers, the pastoralists, and people from all communities. And when we spoke on the floor of this House, we spoke on behalf of all communities that live in Laikipia, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's very sad that the security operation is now done in a manner that wants to divide the people of Laikipia. In fact, I dare say, like Senator Orengo said, we are not the problem. We are being, Mr. Speaker, pigeonholed to various communities so that, Mr. Speaker, we come back to the floor of this House and say, you know, I speak for the farmers, I speak for the pastoralists, I speak for this community, I speak for the other community. We speak here on behalf of all the people of Laikipia. We speak here on behalf of all the people of Kerio Valley Triangle, Mr. Speaker, who are suffering because it is not the responsibility of Senator Lelegwe, who has now brought another important statement to provide security in Laikipia. It is not the responsibility of Senator Nderitu Kina, and it's like Senator Orengo said, we are here to ensure that we hold the government into account. Mr. Speaker, we will not accept, and I beg that our colleagues and the people of Laikipia and the people of Kenya do not fall into this trap where they are being told your problems as a result of this man because this person is a Samburu, this one is a Turkana, this one is a Kisii, this one is a Kalenjin, this one is a Kikuyu, Mr. Speaker. The problem in Laikipia is security. It's not the tribe of the people who are inhabiting Laikipia County. And Mr. Speaker, what is happening in Laikipia is not unique to Laikipia alone. And I said it here 2 weeks ago. You were the DC of Marakwet. You dealt with that issue almost 20 years ago. And even before you became the DC in Marakwet, it was already there for another 20 years. The problem of Kerio Valley is a persistent problem that was there when President Jomo Kenyatta was the president. If you read the history and the story of the Ngoroko, Mr. Speaker, you know that this cattle rustling problem has been bedeviling the people of Kerio Valley from West Pokot to Turkana, Mr. Speaker, to Elgeyo Marakwet, to Baringo, to Samburu. That whole belt, Mr. Speaker, of Kerio Valley region has faced this problem for more than 50 years. The discussion we should be having here is about lasting solutions, Mr. Speaker. The discussion that should be happening in Laikipia, because I met another member of Parliament of National Assembly who, Mr. Speaker, was telling me, oh, you know, our community is being targeted. And I was asking him, your community is being targeted because you only heard about this problem today. But when 2017, when we went to Laikipia, Mr. Speaker, with the Deputy President and with the Minister of the Interior, with the County Commissioner, Mr. Speaker, in fact, we were in a big meeting, Mr. Speaker, where we launched the NPR, National Police Reservist, both in Laikipia, Mr. Speaker, up to Turkana, through Baringo, West Pokot. Mr. Speaker, all these areas, we gave people NPR officers to supplement the work that the police were doing. Why were we doing that? We were using a method that was applied from the days of President Jomo Kenyatta, the days of President Moi, President Kibaki, President Uhuru, Mr. Speaker, and suddenly in second term of President Uhuru Kenyatta, some other officers in OP decided that they were going to, Mr. Speaker, remove all this local security and understand the terrain, Mr. Speaker, that were working with the police officers in that area, and now left the people to be exposed. Mr. Speaker, it is not the livestock which is the problem. It is not, Mr. Speaker, the communities which are the problem. The problem in Laikipia is the government inability to provide security for people in Laikipia, for people in Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, Turkana, West Pokot, and Baringo to live in peace, Mr. Speaker. If you go to Baringo County, it's not only the Tugens who are there. There are various, Mr. Speaker, first clans of the Tugen community in Baringo. But you also add there are Pokots, there are James, Mr. Speaker, there are Kikuyus, there are people from all tribes in Baringo. The same to Elgeyo Marakwet County. So you cannot, Mr. Speaker, now pigeonhole this issue to this community versus the other one. And I really think that there is a hand, Mr. Speaker, within the current administration that wants to use the Laikipia situation to divide people into communities so that Senator Lelekwe here will come and disagree with Senator Kina, Mr. Speaker, and fight each other and say it is this pastoralism versus the farmers and so forth. This statement from Senator Lelekwe is a timely, good statement that speaks to the issues without dichotomizing, Mr. Speaker, us versus them. And Mr. Speaker, Senator Lelekwe is asking very important questions. Why would security kill livestock? Why would they destroy property? I thought they went there to protect the property, Mr. Speaker. I thought they went there to restore unity and peace among communities. I thought they went there to look for criminals, Mr. Speaker. How come, Mr. Speaker, every time there's a cattle rusting problem in any part of this country, there is no single person who has been arrested and charged in a court of law? Even in the Laikipia situation, Mr. Speaker, how come up to now, nobody, no citizen has been taken to court? Forget about the question of rushing to politicians. Where are the real perpetrators that are holding the guns and destroying and killing people? And they do not have to have a tribal tag. They are bandits and must be dealt with as bandits, not because they come from community X or Y. And Mr. Speaker, Senator Lelekwe is also asking an important question. Mr. Speaker, what is going to happen to pastoralist competition between pastoralists, Mr. Speaker, looking for grass and water, and those who are farmers who are established and growing their crops and protecting their grass, Mr. Speaker, so that they can feed their livestock or to sell the grass? What's going to happen? Mr. Speaker, what's the government policy on this issue? Mr. Speaker, Senator Lelekwe is even asking, Mr. Speaker, you have government that supposedly have 15,000 acres, Mr. Speaker, which is supposed to be ADC Mutara Ranch. And Mr. Speaker, this ADC Mutara Ranch, supposedly from the Minister of Interior himself. Minister of Interior himself said this property is owned by the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable William Ruto. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya has said, I do not own that property of ADC Mutara Ranch. So that begs the question, and the Deputy President even went ahead and said, donate this. If you find any 15,000 acres of land in Laikipia, supposedly Mutara Ranch, that belongs to him, donate it to pastoralists to go and graze their livestock. So, Mr. Speaker, I want the Security Committee and this Senate to invite the Minister of Interior, Honorable C.S. Matiangi, to come here, Mr. Speaker, and we officially donate, Mr. Speaker. There is no need for verification. Government cannot just speak. A cabinet secretary cannot just walk here and speak. The cabinet secretary knows very well that there is an idle 15,000 acres of land that is neither owned by ADC nor owned by the deputy president. Why can't we publicly donate this property to pastoralists, Mr. Speaker, so that they can live in harmony and graze their livestock inside there and avoid this situation where, Mr. Speaker, there's a competition between pastoralists and farmers? It's because of that reason that, Mr. Speaker, we are saying on the floor of this House that, Mr. Speaker, the people like Kivya deserve peace. We deserve peace in Kerio Valley. I told you last week that, Madam Speaker, in Tot, where I come from, today we are burying, Mr. Speaker, a young man from Tot area, Mr. Speaker. And almost every week we've been burying 2 or 3 people, Madam Speaker. And this is the issue that it bothers all of us, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. And I want to request that the Security Committee become a little bit serious. I saw my friend Senator Uta saying we are not this, we are not that. Mr. Speaker, I think we are just basically chastising and encouraging our committee. We are trying to tell the committee they must live up to the expectations. How comes the Speaker? I'm willing to be informed, Madam, by Senator.
Mr. Speaker, I agree that this committee must become more serious. Madam Speaker, sorry. It's for your information, and distinguished Senator Murkomen. On the Wednesday 15th at 8 a.m., we had asked the Minister Interior, Minister CS Lands, and CS Asar to appear before the committee to answer to matters that relate to the conflicts in those areas and issues to do with boundary conflicts. Mr. Speaker, and what shocked me, because personally I believe Parliament is supreme. Parliament is a serious institution, and once conned by Parliament, then you must leave other duties and go and answer before the House on any matter that you've been asked to. So, Madam Speaker, when we asked the Parliament, when we asked those ministers to appear before the National Security Committee, this is the response, Murkomen, I want them to hear, that came from the CS Interior. And the CS Interior, I think, is so overwhelmed, so obsessed with the power that they should leave that will not go beyond 10 months. And the letter that came from him, Mr. Speaker, and Madam Speaker, and signed by a Mr. A or C, and because it's so big, he can't sign a letter to the committee, reads and says the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Interior and Coordination of National Government is not in a position to honor the invitation due to exigencies of duty. This is, for avoidance of doubt and for more clarity, this is when we ask these ministers to appear, the Minister Interior or the Cabinet Secretary Interior, through a Mr. Osia, on a letter dated 14th September, because the meeting was supposed to have been yesterday, to discuss these issues, wrote to the committee and sent. The Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Interior and Coordination of National Government is not in a position to honor the invitation due to exigencies of duty. You are therefore requested to postpone the meeting to a later date. This letter is not courteous. Madam Speaker, if anybody has any respect and without contempt of Parliament, would have tried to explain himself why he would not have been able to attend. He would even have further written and sent, I propose that I appear before the committee on this date. And the matters that we were asking him to appear to answer on are issues related to security, loss of lives, protection of property. So we need to be serious on these issues. I agree, even if this whole House was supposed to take this matter on itself, because I said again, and I'm not afraid of repeating myself, that committee has no capacity to deal with this matter, because even when this matter was adjourned or the acceptance or the changes of postponement was done, there was no consultation between the members of the committee, because some of us would have opposed, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, that was very long information.
That was Madam Speaker, just to conclude, I think my take for the people of on this statement is that as a Senate and the committee and this House, we must be able to achieve two things, in my own opinion. Number one, restoration of peace in Laikipia, but in a manner that does not divide the Laikipia people between us versus them, whether it's pastoralists, whether it's farmers, whether it is this community or the other. I know, and you know very well, Madam Speaker, that even people from your own community live in Laikipia. And Laikipia is a cosmopolitan area, just like many parts of Rift Valley. We must achieve unity of purpose in Laikipia without dichotomizing the fight as us versus them. Number two, we must achieve justice. Madam Speaker, the criminals must be arrested. Government cannot, Madam Speaker, legitimize extrajudicial killing. And like Senator Orengo said, we cannot fight a good war by violating Chapter 4 of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. We must do it in a manner that is in accordance with the Constitution. And therefore, extrajudicial killing where people are being killed on sight, Madam Speaker, where they should have been arrested. Of course, some of them are armed and dangerous, so you can understand if equal force is applied, and Mr. Speaker, they die. But the effort must be to bring them to justice. Number two is that livestock are not criminals. So killing livestock, Madam Speaker, is actually establishing a very terrible order in our country where, you are actually, this is a shortcut where the security people are saying, let's kill all the livestock, therefore there will be no competition for livestock and for pasture and water. This is a shortcut for security. We must, Madam Speaker, protect also property of those who live in Laikipia, unlike this indiscriminate destruction of property. And I hope if we achieve this as a Senate, we'll be able to go far. And I've said and insisted, as a person who, since 2013, was elected, has gone for meetings of security on cattle rustling almost 3 times every year, and sometimes continuously for about 3 to 4 months. I do not believe that this thing has us versus them. I don't think there is ODM or Jubilee or UDA or any other political party or majority or minority side. This is an issue that should unite this House and unite this country to find a lasting solution. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. The next senator is Senator Cherargei, but I thought I watched Cherargei speak. No, not on this. Okay. So, Senator Cherargei, Samson Gibrotich.
Madam Speaker, you should be looking forward for me for being very active in the House. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a few comments, because I don't want to speak a lot. I agree largely with what my colleagues have said. Majority Leader, Senator Murkomen, People's Majority Leader, the future Governor of Siaya, well spoken, I agree. Mutatis Mutandis, Senator Orengo. Mr. Speaker, two things. I agree this is very unfortunate that we are discussing this. I remember last week, the House spoke itself, they pronounced themselves, but I want to thank Senator Lilengwe for bringing to the attention this issue. We had one perspective last week, but now we have a second perspective, Madam Speaker. It is unfortunate that the security apparatus in this country are confusing criminal elements for killing cows or livestock. Killing more than 5,000 cattle is unfortunate, Madam Speaker. And also even these things have been reported with the police, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, from where I sit, I agree the issues in Laikipia is not about the use of force and gun and deployment of military or any other or even national police reserves. That is part one of solution of the problem. But the underlying issue that we are facing in Laikipia looks like more it's about the ownership and possession of land within Laikipia, Madam Speaker. And I think it is a high time. And I know maybe government wants to play soft diplomacy against the people who own land, especially big ranches, the foreigners. It is good to have foreigners in our country invest because they give us revenue. But it should not be done at the expense of the people who are living in Laikipia. The people living in Laikipia, Madam Speaker, have an opportunity to ensuring, Madam Speaker, that they get where they can take for pastures, Madam Speaker. They can ensure they get a good place for their people, Madam Speaker, and land and place to live, Madam Speaker. But I think as a Senate, Madam Speaker, in conclusion, is I want to appeal that let us push for restoration of peace. Then secondly, understand the underlying issues that, like Senator Ledama has taken us to are very expansive issues that really affect the people of Laikipia, Madam Speaker. And we appreciate that Laikipia, even my family members also live in Laikipia, just like you was. So how do we ensure peace is there, number two? And then, in all honesty, Madam Speaker, address the underlying issues. Finally, Madam Speaker, it is unfortunate, and allow me to read this section of the Constitution, because the senior government officials sitting, especially the people in charge of security, from the CS Interior, the IG, who should be independent as Article 245, Madam Speaker, the DCIO, and many others, I just want to remind them, Article 153.3, that says a cabinet secretary shall attend, it's not say may, shall attend before a committee of the National Assembly or the Senate. It does not say the National Assembly, it also says or the Senate when required by the committee and answer any question concerning a matter for which the cabinet secretary is responsible. The violation of this, and in the upshot of this, Madam Speaker, is a contempt towards this House. Any cabinet minister, it says, shall appear. And yesterday, Madam Speaker, you pronounced that the CS in charge of energy and petroleum to appear next week on Tuesday. Why is it hard for the CS of Interior to come and brief the nation? And you remember, Madam Speaker, in conclusion, I was collecting signatures to have a special sitting on a matter that was of national importance. The CS of Interior decided to invite himself and do a lifestyle audit in some of the senior leaders in this republic. You have heard even the ADC Mutara that is being mentioned. The person who was purportedly deputy president belongs to, has even said, if that land belongs to me, give to the pastoralists, Madam Speaker. So I want to really appreciate, and you know Article 226, it is very clear that even after you leave that office, Madam Speaker, you are still being capable in what you did in that office at personal level. So even if these people despise, Madam Speaker, and we have seen today, Madam Speaker, that courts have convicted a former CS and a former person in charge due to Rio 2016 Olympic scandals. These are issues that we are discussing when you say abuse of office is not following the law that you have been provided. Madam Speaker, I request this issue of Laikipia is so urgent. I request when you pronounce, Madam Speaker, let the CS of Interior, Matiangi, appear here, the IG Inspector Mutembei, DCIO, and all senior security officers, and even CS for lands to appear before this House as a committee of the all on either Wednesday or Thursday next week. And all senators, we can come and critique and analyze. And I can assure Kenyans who are seeing us, Madam Speaker, that they will not be disappointed if the Senate of the all will hold this committee. And the Committee of National Security should not get worried. They know they have a lot of heavy schedule, but we are trying to lighten their burden. I thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity.
Thank you. I'll give Mohammed Malim. Thereafter, Senator Agnes Kabindu online.
Thank you.
She already spoke. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, let me say this statement request by Senator Orengo is a very serious matter. Madam Speaker, the question raised by the Senator is actually pointing to a fact that animals are being, in fact, all the issues which are mentioned here are supposed to have been committed by police, security forces, people who are supposed to actually deal with, provide security to the people of Kenya. Madam Speaker, this week on Monday, I and other members of the Committee of National Security went to Laikipia. And in fact, on the, as a result of the question raised by our colleague from Laikipia, we went there and visited some places. In fact, the question then, which was coming to our attention from Wananchi, is that they are being attacked by people from across, the neighboring country of Baringo.
Second last.
But then the police were all over the place. At least some semblance of security was maintained in that place. But the people were pointing to a fact that there is, a conservancy somewhere there called Laikipia Nature Conservancy, which is actually a den of a lot of problems. A very big conservancy where nobody can enter, where a lot of animals are supposed to be inside, owned by, very big people in this country. And even the ones that are stolen are taken inside there. Military people are inside there, guarding I don't know what. In fact, the stories you get are really very disturbing. So, in fact, at least I was happy that some semblance of security was restored. The people have gone back to their homes, and the schools were reopening. It's surprising now again, this one is coming again from the other side of the county, that the police are actually now, profiling the pastoralists and trying to kill the animals. This is very serious. In fact, this question is not talking about the Wananchi fighting themselves. It's talking about the police fighting people. It's talking about the police killing animals. This is a very serious matter. Madam Speaker, it's totally unacceptable. In fact, as I said by my colleagues, we are not going to pit Kenyans against Kenyans, but it's the country, the government is supposed to provide security to Kenyans, and they must deal with this matter. Laikipia borders about 4 counties. I think the Siolo on one side, Baringo on the other side, and Nyandarua, Samburu. And all these people, because in that environment, I think there must be some discussion on how to live together. But the issue of big conservancies in the name of, some wazungus, where, animals are not able to, I think when the leases are ending, we must be coming with a solution where we are going to actually revert back to Kenya, to Kenyans, so that, we are going to have people graze their animals. But I think there must be, point of order?
What's your point of order, Senator Ledama?
I'm sorry, Madam Speaker. It's actually a point of information. And I would like to...
Does he want to be informed?
That's what I'd like to ask my brother.
Okay, it's okay, ma'am.
Actually, Madam Speaker, the leases lapsed. And cleverly, they were renewed without the people, the indigenous people, interest being taken into consideration. Those leases lapsed. When you go back to the history, those leases were signed in 1904, they lapsed, And now we asked very pertinent question. Why is it that when this leases lapsed, the original inhabitants of the land were not considered for even a portion of the land? This is the thing that really pains me, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I think I will suggest then, because as a committee, when we were on the side, we said we are going to make a report and also invite the Minister of Interior here to go through this. But what's coming from the members now, we would like to take the way we did with energy yesterday, that the security ministry must be invited, or the committee of the whole, to take us through this, so that we can have both the questions from Lilengwe and from my colleague from Samburu and from Ndiritu, and the issues raised here to be canvassed properly, so that we deal with this matter, in a very serious matter. I thank you. I will be able to inform, of course, my colleague Fatuma is from that committee. We are only two here, but we'll tell the chair so that that matter is done. I think we can direct that early next week we have these people here, so that we can look at this matter in a very serious matter. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Mahmoud. I think he has given us a bit of direction, being a member of the committee. So I expect the next contributions to be very short. Let's shorten now that members of the committee are ready to deal with the matter alongside the other matter. Senator Wario Kolich Juma.
Asante Bi Speaker kwa kunipatia nafasi hii. Bi Speaker, kwa kweli arifa hii imetoka wakati mwafaka kabisa. Kwa kweli wakati huu ni wakati wa kiangazi kuu ambao wafugaji wanapata shida na mifugo yao. Na hali vile ilivyo huko Laikipia ni hali ya kutatanisha zaidi. Na maafisa wa polisi ambao wako pande hiyo wamefanya hali hiyo kuwa ngumu zaidi kuliko kurahisishia watu ya Laikipia, kwa sababu wakati ngombe halaiki 5,000 itauawa na askari wa Kenya. Hiyo ni hali ngumu, sababu wafugaji wakati huu mnajua hali yao ni ngumu. Na Bi Speaker, hebu angalia ngombe 5,000 ni kama shilingi milioni 200 ambazo zimepotea, na shilingi milioni 200 ni pesa mingi sana kwa wafugaji, hasa wakati huu wa kiangazi. Bi Speaker, kwa kweli mimi sijui askari ya Kenya wamefundishwa namna gani, kwa sababu ingekuwa wangesaidia wafugaji wakati huu, lakini sio kuwa halaiki ya ngombe. Pande hiyo ya Tana River saa hii hali ni ngumu zaidi, na pia kushida ambayo inafanana na hiyo inakumba wafugaji, sababu kiangazi ni ngumu, malisho ni haba, hata mahali pa kupata maji, hasa pande ya Galana Kulalo ambao project ya serikali inafanyika, ngombe wanashindwa kufikia mto wa Sabaki, sababu kuna mradi wa serikali unafanyika pande hiyo, basi haki haipatikani. Hali inafanana kama ile ya Laikipia, sababu mifugo hawapati mahali pa malisho, na kwenda kupata maji pia ni ngumu, sababu kuna project ya serikali inafanyika ya food security, na hakuna food security inafanyika pande hiyo. Bi Speaker, ni ukora mtupu, sababu wakati utasema ni food security na hakuna kitu inafanyika, na watu hawawezi kufikia mto kupeleka ngombe yao maji, basi hiyo itakuwa unamaliza watu, na hali hiyo kuitatanisha zaidi. Bi Speaker, sisi wakati huu tunataka waziri hasa afike hapa kwa Seneti. Ninaunga mkono wenzangu senators waliotangulia, aje atueleze hasa ni nini inafanyika huko Laikipia, na pia katika arifa hiyo ongeze vile watu wa Tana River wanaweza fikia mto Sabaki waweze kupata maji ya ngombe yao, na wao waweze kupata maji, sababu hatuwezi peleka project ya serikali mahali ili watu ambao wanalisha pande hiyo wawe wanapata shida kupitia hivyo. Na hasa hivi majuzi rais wa Kenya alitangaza hiyo kiangazi ya Tana River kama disaster ya national, na kama hali hiyo itakuwa hivyo, basi watu waruhusiwe waingie katika Savo East Park waweze kulisha mifugo yao, kwa sababu pande hiyo kuna nyasi, na wale watu ambao wako karibu na kuishi karibu na hiyo park ngombe zao zinaisha bila kupata lishe mzuri. Asante, ninaunga mkono arifa ambayo imetolewa na Senator Lelegwe.
Thank you. Senator Milgo Alice Chepkorir.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance to support this statement from Senator Lelegwe. And I want to say, actually, this is a very serious matter which should be addressed as a matter of urgency. Madam Speaker, recently the President of the Republic of Kenya declared drought as a national disaster, and our worry was in the pastoral areas, shortage of grass and water is going to kill cows. It is quite unfortunate that we are hearing the fact that security men went out instead of protecting our people, they are going ahead to kill cows themselves. And in this case, this is actually destroying the livelihoods of these pastoralist people. Madam Speaker, the issues of this pastoralist region, the issues in the North Rift, I think Kerio Farley, we have had Parinko, we've had Laikipia, and various areas suffering from this conflict, Madam Speaker. And this has gone on year in, year end. We are speaking to it today, and if no serious stand or strategy is undertaken, we shall be speaking about this, it is put to rest. For the last several years, we've been hearing about these conflicts taking place, and nobody ever solves it. It actually escalates when it is nearing electioneering period. We do not know whether people are using this to settle scores with their opponents, or they are just by sheer chance. But what it is that I think the Land Commission is also to blame, because when we have chunks and chunks of land, I think I heard the senator of Turkana saying, normally the pastoralists find that there are people who have fenced up large chunks of land, there is a lot of grass, and in this and for that matter, cows cannot be allowed to just die when somebody is living idle land and there is grass. Madam Speaker, I heard about the 15,000 acres being spoken to as being ADC farm. I think instead of wasting a lot of money in Kulalo irrigation scheme, which has since its inception, it has never produced any food, I think those particular areas should be used to grow grass for this particular pastoralist, so that right now we could, in this case, be distributing the grass. In addition to that, we should have the National Drought Management Authority to go out and drill water for this particular pastoralist, so that we do not have that conflict, because conflict comes as a result of looking for pasture as well as looking for water. As Madam Speaker, I think the Interior Ministry should come out clean and explain to this House why the security men, instead of going to protect property and the people, went ahead to actually destroy property, went ahead to cause more conflict, and I think by so doing, that conflict is not going to end in the near future, Madam Speaker. This is a challenge. I think yesterday we were talking about petroleum, which was so much of a challenge, which is affecting the livelihoods of our people, and this is another matter that should be brought to the House of the Whole, so that we can speak to these matters once and for all. And I think we should have the Land Ministry also speaking to this, to tell us what is happening to chunks and chunks of land that are actually kept in that particular area, while pastoralists have been pushed and pushed until eventually they have got nowhere to keep their hearts. Madam Speaker, I support this statement, and I hope a solution will be found. That is, a lasting solution will be found once and for all. Thank you, and I thank the Senator for bringing this statement.
Thank you very much. Bomet and Bomet, why don't we have Senator Sakaja in between the two Bomets? No. He will take 3 minutes.
I won't take long.
You know, Sakaja is to the point always.
We might have a Bomet overdose. And the people of Bomet will be will be shocked. Madam Speaker, I just want to say a few things. First, serious and deep condolences to people who've lost their lives during this time in Laikipia, and those who've lost their property. Livestock is property as well. We have cyclic problems in this country, and many times, Madam Speaker, they say, I think it's Albert Einstein who said, trying to do the same thing the same way and expecting different results is the height of insanity, Madam Speaker. I remember in the last parliament when I chaired the Committee of Cohesion and Equal Opportunities, Madam Speaker, we went to Baragoi, we went to Maralal, we went to Lokwar, Nakusa, and Turkana, all these places on the same exact issues. I've heard Senator of Tana River speaking, and in fact I remember even coming to Tana River, and it was so painful that they're talking about drought, yet there's a very big river, Tana, just flowing past. We've never been able to take advantage of that. If you go to Kipini and you see the gushes of liters, millions of liters of that river flowing into the sea, into the ocean, yet people are dying of hunger, there's something wrong with us. It cannot be 10 years and more years where every year we'll talk about drought in this country. So, Madam Speaker, something must be done. Number two, really, because I was following the proceedings, Madam Speaker, I think it is very unfortunate how we allowed this to degenerate into, lambasting the Committee on Security. Madam Speaker, I have chaired that committee for 2 years, and I know the work in that committee is not easy. I think every member in this House is able in any committee. There's no committee that, Madam Speaker, has less able members. We need to support them in the work they're doing. Madam Speaker, when we berate each other, the people of the counties where the chair is coming from, for instance, are listening. And we're trying to tell them the senator is useless. Madam Speaker, I think it is very unfair, and we need to have a habit of having frequent kamkunjis. Some things we can discuss internally, but not in front of the people. I have confidence, and Senator Mahmood has told us what they tried to do before and the angle that has come out today. Madam Speaker, livestock is property as well. The biggest issue that I'm seeing coming out, which is very dangerous, and I think Senator Lelegwe has brought it out, when there's a section in this country of people who feel that their lives or their livelihoods, their way of living, is seen to be below par from other people's way of living, then you're courting disaster. Madam Speaker, it cannot be that a section of Kenyans feel that because they are livestock farmers, that the government does not care for them. In the same way we've seen coffee farmers, maize farmers being given subsidies, being given seeds, being given fertilizer, livestock farmers must also, Madam Speaker, be given water, be given grass during the time that they're going through. They are also as Kenyan as everybody else. A first-class country can never have a second-class citizen, Madam Speaker. And I think that is an angle we need to look at very seriously. Madam Speaker, finally, I just want to say that nothing in this House is done in vain. Madam Speaker, we must have confidence in the actions of our committees and the actions of this House. It cannot be, and I'm glad that we've said, and it has been said in a very resolute manner, that the CS must come, that this House just talks about issues and then it is swept under the carpet. Madam Speaker, I have just come back from, I was in Korogosho right now, with actually somebody Ledama will be very interested in, the president of the Toronto Raptors, called Masai Ujiri, and we were launching some basketball court. But after that, I decided to take a walk in Kariobangi and Korogosho, and the Wananchi, all of them are telling me, please, we have faith in you and in the Senate that you can address this issue of mafuta, Madam Speaker. If the public have such confidence in us, the people of Samburu and people of Laikipia have confidence in us, Madam Speaker, we cannot be the ones exuding inferiority complex in terms of our capacity. The issue of fuel, we will sort out. We must sort out. This issue of Laikipia, we must sort out. We must believe in ourselves as a House before expecting Kenyans to believe in ourselves. And we cannot let any individual, any institution, any ministry try to tell us any less than what Article 96 and 95 tells us in terms of our role. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support this statement.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Langat, Christopher Andrew.
I say, thank you, Madam Speaker, for also giving me this opportunity to make my contribution on this very important statement from the senator from Laikipia. I want to say, Madam Speaker, that this is the right House to do this.
You are addressing the one of the senator of Samburu.
I'm actually addressing you. This is the right House to address this particular issue. So I want to say that the way these things are happening, unless we handle it with a lot of care, it can degenerate to ethnic clashes. Because, Laikipia is a fully cosmopolitan county. And if the government does not handle this issue seriously, it can lead to more problems. Because, Madam Speaker, you see, as Senator Ledama was saying, the government has failed for a long time to address the actual problem that is causing these other issues. What the government is doing is providing painkillers or massaging the issue, going to make a conflict between the crop farmers and the livestock farmers. That will not bring a solution. Going there to kill 5,000 livestock, that will not bring the solution to the problem. So I want to say that, first of all, we must stand as the Senate to make sure that the government compensate those particular farmers. They must compensate them. That is an immediate solution to that problem. But the long-lasting solution, Madam Speaker, is that the government must address the land issues, the historical injustices that has affected that particular place for a long time. How could a government renew the leasing agreements without involving the locals? I've heard also in Kericho and Bomet that the same government has renewed the leasing agreements, which was done in the 19th century, between, instead of actually conducting the locals. Say that those particular owners of the tea plantations have renewed the lease agreement for how many years again without involving the locals. And now the locals are suffering. They don't have lands, yet that was their original land. So I must agree with Senator Ledama that the land issue must be addressed. The historical injustices of the land must be addressed. Can you see this particular scenario in Laikipia, Madam Speaker? Those particular whites, those great owners of those ranches, they have fenced their land with electricity without even counting these 5,000 cattle that have suffered through these particular areas works of the police. First of all, their cattle have been dying because of, one, the animals have been attacking them and no compensation has been taking place. Number two, most of these animals are always killed through electrocution. They die, and the government and those particular people have never compensated them. So I must say, these people must be compensated. That is one. Number two, historical land injustices must be addressed effectively by the government. Number four, provision of water. You see, another issue is simple lack of water in those particular places. So I must say, the government must make sure that they provide water so that this particular water might not become a source of conflicts. And lastly, the issue of those ranches that they are profiled, that they belong to some people. In fact, I am happy that the Deputy President had said that if some people are thinking that I have got a ranch there, let it be given to the locals by the government. When the Minister for Security or Interior comes here and profile people based on the property they have without using proper information that they have, that is very wrong. So I am proposing that the whole House must face the Minister of Interior so that particular person may answer effectively the question from all of us concerning those particular issues affecting the people in Laikipia. Otherwise, we are not happy because the situation is almost degenerating to ethnic conflicts, which we want to avoid at all costs. So I support Senator from Laikipia for bringing this particular
From
Samburu for bringing this particular statement. It is very important because somehow I've seen actually that those particular soldiers, the security personnel, are sidelining some communities. You see, when they go there and instead of providing security, they kill the animals. That is making the situation worse. So it is very important that we make it a committee of the whole so that the Minister for Interior comes here and settle this matter once and for all. And I'm shocked, I want to repeat what I said last week, that the minister is so fast in actually sending the security personnel to funeral, to protect who, instead of sending to such sensitive areas. In fact, the proactive measures are not there. They just wait until things goes to us, and then they react. I was surprised when we were in the funeral of Senator Prengei, by the way. We were surprised that while we were in the middle of the service, we saw 4 lorries with general service personnel being dropped in a place where there is no insecurity. Everybody was peaceful, people were mourning, and then all of a sudden, They send those particular people instead of sending them to Laikipia. I tend to think the minister actually is not addressing this issue effectively, and he should come and answer loud question in this particular house. I support that particular statement, Madam Speaker, and really the minister must come here. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Argura Kodana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support this statement by Senator Dr. Legwe on the unfair treatment of members of Samburu community living in Laikipia and their malicious killing of their livestock. Madam Speaker, one problem I've seen with us Kenyans is that we conveniently want to forget history and start as if things happened yesterday. Madam Speaker, these are historical issues, and in fact, the better part of last evening and even this morning up to now was in a meeting trying to handle submission of historical land injustices which communities are submitting to NLC. And this has been the case we have been having. These are historical facts that these areas were pastoralist areas. And when the colonialists came with their mentality of what they call that land doesn't belong to anybody, or they call Terranuli, they came in and took the land and dispossessed these pastoralists. And the pastoral way of life is something which was despised very much by the colonialists. I can remember the case of Marsabit. When they came to Marsabit Mountains, they found the Rendile herders there with their camels. But they thought that that's a backward way of using the land, and they chased them out and brought in farmers from other parts, even outside these countries, and settled them there. And those are the kind of injustices we are having now. But this case of Laikipia, the livestock keepers, the way we normally live is you leave a part of your land, the better part for livestock grazing during the dry season, the fallback areas. Laikipia happen to be the fallback areas of Samburus. But you see, you don't occupy your land always. The problem with the non-pastoralists is that for you to call a land yours, you must be settled there and your heart must be there. It's not that way. You have to divide your land. There are areas you come when the drought is biting. That's when you fall back there. And Laikipia look like a fallback area. But unfortunately, you'll find when the colonialists came, they divided the land. They preferred pastoralist agricultural way of life to pastoralism. Now it has even gone further. Wildlife conservation is preferred to livestock keeping. Because you'll find if you overfly that area, large tracts of land are just fenced. The only thing you just see is the fence, and there's nothing with a few wildlife roaming the area. This time round, if there was a proper understanding, there should have been a way of allowing the pastoralists to graze in these conservancies during the dry season, because it doesn't occur always. It's only during the dry season. If there's a mechanism that recognizes that these people were here before, even if you have grabbed their lands, you should at least assist them during the dry season, not fencing off your land, putting electric fence, then you keep some few elephants inside there for the tourists to come and see, while the owners of those land are dying next to it with the animals. And that's what is happening now. Now it has reached a point where it's now Kenyans who are being forced against each other. It's the pastoralists coming, and the only land they are finding is the land where the other Kenyans are farming. That's where the conflict is coming from. These pastoralists were deflected from their lands through large tracts of land being grabbed by colonialists, leases extended, and then you say that is private land. I mean, you have to start from somewhere. Where was that land before it became private? It belonged to a community, and that community is still alive and is still practicing pastoralism. That is why always during the dry season you'll find those pastoralists there, because a pastoralist cannot watch his animal die when there's grass across the fence. And that's what we are experiencing. So the government needs to treat this in a very holistic manner, and the conservationists need to open up their conservancies to the originals of those land so that they can graze during the dry season. We don't want to carry the land or anything and occupy the way they are occupying for nothing. They should allow grazing during the dry season. Even in government parks, I'm sure sometimes they allow the communities to graze when it's very, the drought is biting. Then when it rains, they retreat and go back to the areas, and the conservancy area, the grass will generate again. But Madam Speaker, I think the government need to address this issue totally. The CS need to come, and this issue need to be addressed totally so that we don't ignore facts and then now use force to deny people their rights without giving alternatives, without understanding that these people have to be allowed to graze, because that's what we do. Like, I'm from Marsabit, but during the dry season, our animals are in Samburu because their environment is better than ours. We cross into Samburu, we graze there, we go back. The same thing when it's dry, because Samburu, when they experience drought, they have cattle, they move into Laikipia. As we have camel, goats, and sheep, we move into Samburu. Their weather is better than ours. So that way, there must be that understanding. Otherwise, I support the statement, and I think that government have to be practical. History has to be taken into account. These are part of the historical land injustices we are addressing. They have to be addressed, and no life needs to be lost when there is enough land. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Samson Ongeri online. Then I'll come to Senator Malala. Senator Ongeri. Senator Ongeri, we can't hear you. Senator Malala, can you make your contribution, because we want to wind up? When Ongeri comes in, we will
Thank you.
let him in.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to support the statement by the good Senator, Senator Lelegwe, on the issue of insecurity in Laikipia County. Madam Speaker, these are of national importance, and therefore we must take keen interest in these matters as a Senate, and as a people's representative, we must make sure that we handle this matter to a logical conclusion, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as we speak right now, there are several families which have been displaced. There are several families which have lost their loved ones. There are several farmers and pastoralists who have lost their animals and livestock, Madam Speaker, and therefore it is important for us, Madam Speaker, when we deal with this matter, we deal with this matter with the seriousness it deserves. I want to join my colleagues in saying that we need to call the relevant officers who are handling this matter. The CS Interior must appear before this House, Madam Speaker, and not just before a security committee. No, this matter is a matter of national importance, and I would suggest that this matter be handled in a committee of the whole House, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is sad that the very people who are supposed to be protecting the livestock and the people of Laikipia are the people who are tormenting and killing the same animals, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we need to bring those officers to book, and they need to be accountable of their action, Madam Speaker. This is the only way we are going to stop this menace, Madam Speaker. Since 2016, the Pokots, the Samburus, the Maasais have lost almost 5,000 livestock, Madam Speaker. This is unacceptable. As Senator Sakaja has said, livestock is property, and every citizen of this country has the right to have his property secured by government, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I've seen efforts by the national government trying to ensure that they implement the security policies in Laikipia. The other day, through a Gazette notice, I think on September 9th, they gazetted a new sub-county. That is a good step, Madam Speaker, because a sub-county means that we shall have better services and functions of the national government nearer the people of Laikipia. But will we be reactional on every problem we have as a country, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, it means that next time when we have a problem in Kakamega County, then Matiangi will run there with a sub-county and give the people of Kakamega. It means that next year, when people in Siaya County will be fighting about maybe the resources like fish, then the Siaya people will be given a sub-county, Madam Speaker. We need to stop being reactionary on issues, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was listening pensively to the CS Interior, Matiangi. He was trying to put blame on politicians. I want to ask Matiangi to stop wanting to put blame on people who are not the cause of this thing. Let him concentrate on his work. The issue of him standing in any function and wanting to demean politicians. I want to remind Matiangi that politicians are elected leaders. We are leaders elected by our people to represent them. And therefore, you do not have the monopoly of demeaning us in public functions. Madam Speaker, it is very serious. The other day I saw him addressing people in Laikipia, saying that kuna watu washenzi hapa wanajifanya wanasiasa kwa sababu wana incite watu. Matiangi, listen to us. We are elected leaders. Address us with respect. The respect we deserve, Madam Speaker. Because we represent our people. We have the right to talk to our people. Today, Senator Lelegwe has brought an issue affecting his people to the Senate. So why should you then go to a public function and want to try and demean the very person who is trying to help his people? And therefore, the recent political arrests, Madam Speaker, are not giving us a solution to this matter. I want to call upon the relevant agencies, the prosecutory organs of this Republic of Kenya, Madam Speaker, to delve deep into this issue and stop hiding behind politicians. We have been elected by our people. For what reason would Senator Ole Kina be wanting to kill his people or livestock of Narok? Senator Ole Kina has got the interest of the people of Narok. To what interest would Senator Orengo be having to disadvantage the people of Siaya? To what interest would Senator Malala be having to kill and torment his people, Madam Speaker? And therefore, it is important for government to know that when you are doing a political arrests, you are not sorting out the problem and you are not uprooting the very, very cause of this reason. And therefore, it is important, and I still insist, Madam Speaker, the national intelligence has failed us. Because, Madam Speaker, up to now, we are not even sure on what is causing the skirmishes in Laikipia. We don't know if it's the 2022 elections. We don't know if it's the problem of the rich versus the poor, because I've been told that there is a very sharp rift between the white settlers and the pastoralists, Madam Speaker. We need to address this issue. Let the national intelligence tell us what is the root cause before we start running around, arresting politicians, creating sub-counties, making public pronouncements that are not helping us sort out this matter. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I want to take this opportunity lastly to thank the senator who has brought this statement. Senator Lelegwe, you have the interest of your people at heart. And I want to tell the people of Laikipia today that, and Samburu in general, as a community, that you have a person who cares for you, who thinks about you, and who has the best interest for your community at heart. And therefore, Senator Lelegwe, you have shown us the way. We shall also stand behind you and insist that this matter must be sorted out once and for all. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Finally, Senator John Kina online.
Madam Speaker,
yes.
Madam Speaker, I want to add my voice on that statement. Madam Speaker, my network is bad. If I put on the video, I lose it. Madam Speaker, if you allow me to continue.
Do the video, we see your face, and then you can switch.
Madam Speaker, I am in Muruti where that issue happened. First, I want to thank the Security Committee because they visited Laikipia and they went to Ormoran. They went to a place called Wangwashi.
Senator Kina, members want to see your face. Just put on the camera. Even
Madam
if-
Speaker, my camera is on. Madam Speaker,
How come we're not seeing you?
I don't know what's wrong with it because, Madam Speaker, my camera is on. I put it on.
You know, our rules are that we must see you so we know where you are.
I'm saying I'm in Rumuruti, Madam Speaker.
There are so
And
many
my camera is
places
on.
in Rumuruti. We want to know exactly where you are, whether you are seated or you are on a camelback or something.
No, I'm not on a Camelbank, Madam Speaker. I'm in a place called Marura, where this thing happened, Madam Speaker. And my camera is on.
We cannot see you, and they cannot pick your camera. And I'm seeing.
I don't know why, Madam Speaker.
And I'm already seeing points of order on how you are communicating to us. So we will leave it. You wait for. Yeah, wait. You wait for what we are about to decide. Then you can be able to come and contribute.
But Madam Speaker, I just wanted to say that the Committee of Security came to Laikipia.
No, Senator Kina, Senator Kina, we can. Honorable members, we have listened to a good number of members because this was a very, very important statement. And the statement stands committed to the committee, the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations. We are also aware that the same committee has been to the same area following the statement that came from Senator Kina. I would like, therefore, to rule as follows, that the committee takes this new statement and adds to the previous statement so that we are able to get something more comprehensive. I'd like to give the committee up to Thursday, then on Thursday, the interactive session between the House, as requested by all members, between the House and the security agents should be done. So you have, as a committee, you have between now and Thursday and Wednesday, and then on Thursday, let's have a session, a full house session with the security teams. It's so ordered. Thank you. Point of order from Senator Orengo.
Mr. Speaker, since we continue to have problems summoning CSS to sessions, and we are told, in fact, before this very committee, they were unsuccessful in getting the CS. For purposes of this matter, can a summon be sent to the CS instead of an invitation? Yes. Yeah, so that we don't just propose a meeting for Thursday, and we are not sure that they will come. In the circumstances in which there has been no compliance, I think it's important that they are actually summoned to appear. Otherwise, this matter may drag on for another month or so.
Thank you. That's well noted. Another point of order from Ole Kina, Madam.
Madam Speaker, I also wanted to put in my 2 cents on this matter, and particularly on the issue of summoning. Now that we know practically, as per the rules and our standing orders, we have to give 7 days notice to be able to summon anyone to appear before the House. Would I suggest that you give directions and summons be sent for the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Interior and all the other security operators and the others who are requested by this House to appear before this House on a full House committee on Friday, because by then would have been able to comply with the law. Friday. If it's 7 days, if you count 7 days, it will be, even if you serve tomorrow, it will be Friday. I'm not so sure. You can look at the numbers.
Mohammed Mali.
Yes, Madam Speaker. In fact, I was going to take the same line my colleague has taken from the chair. I think you could instruct that the security team led by the CS appear before the whole House, but also just on Thursday. I think because the matter is very serious, we can see how the 7 days period can be waived. But I think it's important that that instruction comes from the chair, so that instead of waiting for the security committee to invite him and summon him, matters as serious as it is, I think if it's possible, the chair directs, and that direction is followed by a letter from the clerk, of course. Then then between now and that time, we can see what we can do as a committee.
Honorable Senators, summons in our standing orders are very clear. And we know how emotive this discussion was. It almost divided us in the House. So we don't want to break any of that. If you will accept, let's invite them to come on Thursday. Should they fail to come, then we can do the summons. And that will be on, alternatively, if we are going to do the summons, then it would have to be Friday. Yes.
Madam Speaker, indeed what you're saying is true. Summonses normally, according to our standing orders, are issued when the ministers fail to appear on a certain matter more than twice. But Madam Speaker, instead of using that word, if you direct that the minister appear at this and this date, it is not a summon, but it's a direction from your chair which must be followed. But the issue of summonses, in fact, I know many are really hesitant for that to be on their record, that they have been issued with summonses yet if they have been appearing before the committee. If you just give direction, Madam Speaker, that on this date, the Cabinet Secretary must appear and the IG before this committee on this matter, it will serve the same purpose. I think, yeah.
Yes, Senator Ole Kina.
Madam Speaker, we were earlier informed by a member of the Security Committee, Senator Linturi, that the CS has refused to appear before their committee. In fact, on other matter, he read clearly a letter which was written by a staffer in the office that the CS was busy with other matters. So this issue is very clear, Madam Speaker. You know, as per the Constitution, we have been referred back to the Constitution, I think it was Article 153, that even if there are rules, you know, let's issue these summons, let them appear here. Because once they appear here, we can be able to deal with that matter. The only time they will appear here is when Kenyans are going to see that we're dealing with this matter seriously. And we get it from your seat, Madam Speaker. You're very powerful. So direct, or we issue those summons, and we make sure that we can resolve these problems affecting Kenyans.
Senator Dandulo, then I'll come to Orengo. Senator Dandulo.
Madam Speaker, in as much as this matter is very sensitive, of course the issues of summon is very clear in standing orders. I would support the position given by Senator Sakaja to give directive to the minister to appear before the committee. I thank you.
Yes, Senator Orengo.
Madam Speaker, a directive of Speaker is not a constitutional instrument. It's just you speaking from the chair. It can apply to members. But out there is either invitation or a summons. And the reason why I'm saying summons, there's been an invitation already which has not been complied with on the same issue. It is not on another issue, it's on the same issue. And they have said, because of exigencies of duty, you know, Senator Linturi, Linturi was here. Yeah, and is a member of the committee.
No, Senator, let's get information. Let's get information from.
But, Madam Speaker, the other thing which is very important.
Yeah.
Suppose you were in war. What would you do? I mean, by the time you invite him twice for him to refuse, then you summon, the matter would already have elapsed. Life would have moved on. We must create circumstances where the Senate can intervene at the right time. And I can assure you that this matter, if you don't deal with it within the next 7 days, then let's just deal with it as an ordinary business without expressing any kind of urgency. I'm beginning to feel, Madam Speaker, that we're becoming more and more toothless. Yes. This parliament are becoming totally toothless. Yes. And even summoning a minister, it looks such a difficult thing to do. What I'm beginning to feel, I have never seen a situation where we have had a whole debate how helpless members themselves were saying we are useless. I feel that Parliament must have full authority on this matter. And Senator Lelegwe, the statement could not wait for another week. It had to come now. Yes. So I plead with you, unless we want Parliament just be a talking shop, that this matter is so serious, and already the committee has been there, the minister has been invited, he says exigencies of duty, he will come on another day, unspecified day. I think this is the time for you to put your foot down and say he will appear. If he doesn't appear, it will not be our problem. It will be his problem because we know how to deal with it. And I know the courts sometimes were very hesitant about punishing ministers for non-compliance, but they're now doing it. And non-compliance with a summons is a constitutional violation because it's a right that flows from the law. It can be a basis for
I think, Madam Speaker.
Yeah, just information.
The matter which Senator Linturi referred to actually was not on this matter. The minister was invited for a meeting of joint sitting of the National Security Committee and JLAC to discuss matters of boundaries. So it's not true that we invited him for this matter and they declined to come. Much as serious as it is, it was not the same matter. In fact, that matter was a different one, which was the joint sitting of both committees of security and legal affairs. Thank you. But I still think that what Sakaja said, maybe direction from the chair is very strong. I don't know.
Honorable Senators, I said the difference was 1 day. Whether the committee was going to be available on Friday for the summons and whether members would be available on Friday. And we know what our Fridays are. So really, it's us who will not be available on the Friday because a lot of us move. So call it direction. Even what I gave earlier was a direction, by the way. That we invite, let him come or not come on the Thursday, so that we don't go beyond Thursday. We want a day when all members are available, and then we'll be able to handle it from there. I think that does not reduce the powers of the committee, neither does it reduce the powers of the House. So I would like to still persuade you to accept my earlier ruling that we invite the minister to come on Thursday, or what did we say? Direct the minister to appear on Thursday, because Friday is going to be a problem. Alternatively, we move to the next week. Yes, Senator Ole Kina.
Madam Speaker, my only challenge with the direction is that if we invite the Cabinet Secretary and he failed to appear with the security operators and they failed to appear on Thursday, it means that for us to summon and to compel his appearance, we have to give him 7-day notice. So the only time that he can be able to appear will be the next Friday or the other week. So this issue of invitation, and Madam Speaker, let's just divorce our interest from the interest of the people. We might have an interest with the Interior Ministry or the security operators in this country, but this time we are dealing with the issue of people whose livelihood is being affected. So I would like to beseech you that we don't dilly-dally on this matter. We proceed and issue summons. Let's deal with this matter. It's a matter of national security. If the president himself can declare
Senator
the drought issue in Laikipia and countrywide as a national security, the issue of our cows being killed, people living without, Madam Speaker, there are people who cannot go to school. We want sanity.
Senator
So
Ladama.
I really would like
Yeah.
to plead with you
Yeah.
that instead of dilly-dallying, let us move ahead and let him appear on Friday. We will come here. We are elected to represent the people. What business will we have going to the grassroots if we cannot be able to deal with a matter of national concern? So I really would like to plead with you that instead of wasting our time, let us issue the summons because invitations will not be honored.
Honorable Senators, the issue was, do we summon him to come on Friday? And the question was whether the members will be here for Friday. I think that is what we are saying. That because Friday becomes tricky for most members, and we don't want, again, to fail the same public by not appearing on the Friday. Fridays have been a disaster for our committees. So the question was, do we do that or we invite him, direct him to come on the Thursday, and then if he doesn't come, then we deal with it. Because I can see the consensus is, I had already directed, and please let's stick to that. Let's invite on Thursday, yes? As Senator, whether you direct or somebody who has the intentions of not coming will not come. In your own words, But that's why I'm saying, can we allow, yes? Yes.
Madam Speaker, it matters how that directive is given. If you from there announce that this House directs that the minister appears on Thursday before a committee of the whole, is different from the chair of the committee issuing an invitation. It has happened before. There's been precedents. Remember the day when the senators were arrested?
Yeah.
Within 2 hours, Matiangi was here. What? Who? The day when the senators were arrested. Eh? I'm talking about both sides. He came. We are arguing on different things. I'm saying
I think,
instruction from there actually is weightier than instruction committee issuing it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's release that instruction from the Speaker's hand that the security apparatus appear on Thursday. Let's deal with it at that time. 10 o'clock and appear before the whole House. Thank you. Next statement is pursuant to Standing Order 52-1. The Senate majority